that if he wants to become a good legislator, he must not conflate issues. The point that he's raising is something that all of us on this side agree with. I have been on this floor severally, coming down heavily against cabinet ministers when they fail to appear before this house. But when he wants to leave it on record and say that John Mbadi has become a proper Kenya Kwanza minister who has no respect for parliament, I cannot allow him to do that, Mr. Speaker, because he's disparaging a cabinet, Mr. Speaker, and their ministers, while he's saying that there's a cabinet minister seated here waiting to respond to questions, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for Senator Edwin Sifuna to claim that a proper Kenya Kwanza minister has no regard for parliament? Can he table any fact, Mr. Speaker, to support his allegations, Mr. Speaker? Because otherwise, you reduce a very valid point to a partisan debate that is useless. We had a very valid conversation that we would have had about the presence or otherwise of ministers. But now he wants to distract us with sideshows, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, let us not be emotional on this matter. Actually, this is a matter concerning the whole House. This is a bipartisan issue. So, Senator Sifuna, maybe you can kill your record so that we can be able to move nicely, Honorable Senator Sifuna. No, I've asked him to clarify that bit so that...
You don't want me to speak? Honorable Speaker, I don't know what other evidence the majority leader would want tabled of disrespect of this House other than the letter that has been brought to you while you are seated in the chair. And the fact that he admits that we have engaged on this issue repeatedly, it is indicative of a tradition within the Kenya Kwanza government that they disrespect this House all the time. We have dealt with this issue more than enough times, Honorable Speaker, and the majority leader cannot gag me. You cannot gag me, Honorable Cheruyot. The disrespect is in that letter that has been brought this morning. We woke up here to do this job. Where is Mbadi? You can't defend Mbadi.
Have your seat, Senator Sifuna. Senator Enoch.
You know, Mr. Speaker, there are things that you are saying that are difficult to implement. When you say people should not be emotional about this matter, it's difficult not to be emotional about what we have just witnessed. It is difficult, Mr. Speaker, to deal with a fact which is on record that a cabinet secretary expected to appear before a House of Parliament is writing to the Speaker while the session is on to say he cannot appear. And the reason given is in State House. Mr. Speaker, I will say two things and try to be not too emotional about it. One, Article 132 of the Constitution, functions of the President. The President is accountable to Parliament. The President himself to Parliament. Article 153 of the Constitution. The Cabinet is accountable to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, those two articles read together place the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya at such a position that when you are required to appear before either a committee of Parliament or a plenary sitting of Parliament, then everything else must stop. Mr. Speaker, this is just plain reading of the law. And you know, when now I see my brother, my very good friend, the Senator of Gericho, who is also the majority leader, getting emotional and saying that Senator Sifuna should be taught a lesson. The Speaker, I'm wondering, between Senator Sifuna and the CS for Treasury, who needs to be taught certain lessons? Mr. Speaker, just allow me to finish. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious matter. In fact, Mr. Speaker, this is so serious. And you know what? Let us test our own powers and privileges as Parliament. Let us put that to test. Mr. Speaker, you can order the Sergeant at Arms or the Inspector General of Police to present the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury here today, this morning. Mr. Speaker, you know, we cannot say that Parliament has been disregarded, and every time that we are disregarded, then we permit those people that disregard the Senate to continue doing their things and doing bad manners. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, Senator Riyot, you should not feel bad when Senator Sifuna says that the CS Treasury is learning bad manners.
Point of order, just a minute.
Oh,